If you saw my previous video about taking some discounted produce, a bunch of avocados that I got at the grocery store, and made a big batch of guacamole and chips, that was my Friday night feast. And it's Saturday morning, and I just received some really interesting and positive feedback from my body and wanted to share it with you. Behind me, you can see here that one of my favorite YouTube content creators is a lady in Australia. Her channel is called Fabulous 50s. And I felt so energized and rested this morning that I'm a morning person anyway, and this is my favorite time to work out, though I decided to do the 50-minute routine. I've just finished that, and maybe you can see here over off to the side, I have a very humble home. I've got my yoga mat over there, and I'm going to be finishing up with sorry for the shakiness, finishing up with an ab routine, and I will link both of those videos because I want to give credit where credit's due. I'm not about swiping anybody's videos. What happened is that last night when I decided to have a movie night, have a Friday night feast, I thought, okay, I'm going to honor these cravings and not put too much thought into it and think that I was doing emotional eating. Though it had been a long week, it had been one of those frustrating Fridays. And in previous videos, I've shared this really unique guide. It's a book called Constant Cravings A to Z by Dr. Doreen Virtue. This has been one of my go-to books for a very long time. My name's Tiffany Anderson. If you don't know me, if you've been here before, welcome back. My background is in health education. I am also an alternative healthcare provider. I have worked as a patient advocate and a wellness coach. And using books like this, especially for women, we are very prone to emotional eating and cravings. And this is something that I've only, not only addressed for myself, but also as I've been coaching people over the years to really explore what our cravings tell us about ourselves. This is one of those nurturing tools, that introspection that we can do. And maybe you've seen this book, maybe you haven't. And let me tell you what my craving last night told me about myself. So since I made I'll also link to the video if you want to see it. It was nothing fancy though, just my basic how I make chips and guacamole. And the craving of chips, if you look through the book, it's a flip through, as it said, A to Z, easy to find a specific food, a commonly craved food, corn tortilla chips. The probable meaning of that craving could be you feel stressed or anxious and you want to ease your worries, also a desire for validation. Okay, that fit definitely for my day and the week. It had been, as I said, a frustrating Friday. The affirmation that Doreen Virtue suggests contemplating before you give in to what could be an emotional craving and not a sense of true hunger is to then say to yourself out loud or silently, I am willing to trust that everything works out for the best. I let go of feeling responsible for everything and everyone around me. I love that. Did I look at this book last night? No, I did not. I find it really interesting retrospectively, just because for the fact that I slept really well. I woke up feeling energized. I even laid in bed for a while thinking, well, it's Saturday and I do have a lot of chores and some work to do later today, though I could sleep a little bit longer, and I didn't. I got up, I just finished a 50-minute workout. I'm going to be doing another ab routine, get on the mat, and depending on the day and the gunky polluted air outside, I might go for a walk, I might just stay inside. The other aspect of this, of course, is the guacamole. The guacamole. Now with avocados, this is a really different craving, a different probable meaning. And for anyone who really likes sauces, dips, any of those creamy or spicy, think about if that type of craving resonates with you. The probable meaning with an avocado craving, not just hunger, this is very different, is feeling fed up, wanting to replace high stress situations with something that better suits you. That was also fitting. There were a number of roadblocks and anxiety moments yesterday that I was feeling a little wound up about. The affirmation then I may have in the future to contemplate before eating. I didn't eat the entire bowl though. I ate pretty much all of it. The affirmation I could have contemplated is, I have decided to seek a better life and am rewarded with answers and direction. Now, I've already been on the scale this morning and I weigh every day. It's a positive tool for me. I do not fight the scale. I feel that it's giving me honest feedback and it's a way for me to monitor my health. I lost a pound from yesterday, and that was after I had a bowl of soup for dinner, and then I enjoyed that bowl of guacamole that I ate nearly all of it. I put a little bit left in the fridge, covered it with a little bit of salsa to prevent any browning, and then I demolished the bowl of chips. Again, I already made that video, and the difference for me here is that the fact that I customize and food is medicine in my world. I adopted a plant-based diet years ago after going through a medical mystery tour, and I had done the high protein thing. I was gluten-free for a while. I have done so many kitschy diets over the year. And when I read about and was led to the starch solution by a physician, it blew my mind. I was teaching nutrition at the academic level at the time, and I had never heard of this dietary plan. I put it into place, and it literally saved my life, changed my life in ways that I hadn't believed possible at midlife, in my late 40s. And I am 60 now. And the fact that I have been very, very consistent with this meal plan and that I feel good. I don't feel deprived. And the difference with the chips and the guacamole, it was a very simple guacamole, nothing fancy. I was simply using up some discount produce and putting something together really quickly because it was a late Friday and I was tired. I just wanted to wind down, watch a movie, go to bed. And the chips though, this was the real key because I crave savory and salty more than sweet. And making my own chips by just taking corn tortillas that I'm lucky to have a ethnic market, and a lot of times I will buy fresh corn tortillas, though the ones I used last night were a very basic brand from a Kroger store, and I cut them into wedges, put them on a cookie sheet, no parchment, and sprayed them with lime juice and baked them for about 16 and a half or so minutes. That was it. And that is another aspect of my meal plan that I felt that even though I didn't investigate my craving or put too much thought into it, it just simply sounded good and I wanted to eat it and I enjoyed it. There was no guilt. That's something I mentioned in the video. I had no guilt in eating that because I knew that I had made it myself. I controlled the ingredients. I knew exactly how much salt was in there. So even though I have heart disease in my family genetic line and have certainly had high blood pressure in the past, I don't now. And I woke up feeling good and I lost a pound. That's great feedback for my body. You know, and I was even craving a little bit of a dessert after. I am guilty of having that salty sweet, you know, that dance. Do you do that dance as well? What I did have are some blackberries, and I like the tart tanginess of blackberries. They're not always the sweetest berry. They're great for, of course, you know, the antioxidants, any of those really high color nutrient foods. and here's the health educator, the coach in me talking, eat your fruits and veggies, regardless of your meal plan, whether you're on the high protein, whatever works for you, what resonates with your body and what works. My coaching style has always been about eat what you like and simply accept the consequences of your dietary choices. That is the mature adult approach to lifestyle medicine. You're in charge of your health, and there's only so much that our healthcare providers can do, because at the end of the day, regardless of what directions you've been given or medications you're on, it's your daily practices that are going to be the most indicative of the outcomes that you're experiencing. And I encourage people to add rather than subtract. So if you are on a weight loss journey, it's January 2026. If you are wanting to improve your health in any way, I always encourage adding. That is so much easier, just to add something. And don't worry about the things that you've been told to eat less of or do less of. Add something that is more supportive to your health and well-being, such as what I'm doing this morning. I am investing in movement, and I am honoring the fact that I've always been a morning person. I love mornings. It's when I'm the most energetic. It's when I'm more clear-headed. And at 60, when I have more cognitive function. Any of you caregivers out there who are kind of worried about your mature relatives and thinking, oh my gosh, they're losing their mind. Hey, we have to, our brain is an important organ, and we need to feed it wisely. We need to exercise it by reading, by conversation, by laughter, and by nourishing it, remembering that the number one only fuel source that your brain can utilize is glucose. And glucose comes from things like complex carbohydrates. Your brain can't do anything with protein. And there's plenty of protein in plants. Wherever you're at on that, you do you. You do you. My whole point in this video was to give you a little bit of insight and some encouragement to look at what's working for you and maybe just one thing that you want to modify. And remember to honor yourself. And if you are in the midst of being stuck on the wheel of trapped by cravings and you're not getting the results, or feeling guilt, feeling frustrated with your choices, then consider, I'm not being sponsored or anything. I'm simply sharing something that I've utilized in my work and my personal life and with loved ones for decades. This is an amazing book. And, I have a couple of copies. I have one in the office. I work in the field of public health as well. And it's just one of those fun flip through guides that it gives you some reflection to think about what's working in your life. So look in the description below. I have a website. All of the resources are free. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope this was useful and interesting. Please consider giving this a like. It makes a big difference. And subscribe if you want to see more videos. Check out my playlists. I have my 3 key concepts to improved health, and those are the foundational tools that I have been applying for decades to manage my own health and that I share with coaching clients. And those are that I soothe, and that is how I manage chronic pain. I nourish, because as I mentioned, food is medicine in my world, and I rest. And the way that I make sure that I get enough rest, because sleeping problems and insomnia, that's been kind of like a lifetime thing, certainly through childhood and my 20s and 30s. Ensuring that I exercise every morning and receive some natural sunlight before 12 p.m. Both of those things have helped me to sleep more soundly than anything else I've ever tried. And I work with my doctors. I am not a clinician. This is not medical advice. Partner with your healthcare providers. I live a medical home, and so this is all about, I'm putting all of the lifestyle medicine into place, the healthy behaviors. I hold myself accountable. I accept the consequences of my behavior, and I speak honestly and candidly to all of my healthcare providers, whether they are the Western professionals that I work with and the alternative practitioners, because the holistic approach works for me and it's much more affordable and less intrusive. That is something that I like, to have more control over my health and not feel that I'm at the mercy of methods and medications that I don't feel are in my best interest. And the side effects of some things, honestly, are horrifying. And I've done my best to avoid those. Do I take some medications? Yes, I do. There's not many mature adults, especially if you're living with chronic conditions, that don't. Though I manage my health in a way that works well for me. And I encourage you to do the same. Check out the information below. And again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.